Okay, so I saw this like short clip of like a guy who wrote down on a board OnlyFans girls in 7 years when they're not hot anymore, broke, and can't get a job. Now, I too am critical of OnlyFans. I don't think it's good for society in the same way I don't think a lot of the hypersexualization of anyone isn't good for society, men or women, like both. But here's another thing that I really wonder, like, why would first of all, like, OnlyFans girls are like the ones who are doing well seem to be making a lot of money. How is it that OnlyFans girls that make like a lot of money, like, why do people think they would be broke? uh like, I'm just seriously trying to understand. If you're making like $200,000 a day, like, you probably, could are gonna buy a house or something. And I mean, you could just start a little knitting business after that, like whenever they decide to quit, and then just be regular. But it's like, the funny thing is, like, men are trying to be powerful, I suppose, by like making these videos because they're funny. And it's super weird. And so he's writing all these things down. So who's to blame for this? Men, the patriarchy, Bank of America, democracy, NASA. Like, no, like, nobody's to blame. Also, like, why do people continue to think that like beautiful women all of a sudden are just like not going to be beautiful anymore? Like, they're just, so all of them, all the beautiful women who are on OnlyFans tomorrow, they're just, in 7 years, the clock's ticking, ladies. They're gonna be ugly and not hot. So, like, I don't. There will probably be some women who are irresponsible with their money, and will have to get regular jobs. But also, like, why wouldn't they be able to get a regular job? That doesn't make any sense. Like, doing OnlyFans is not a criminal act. Like, why wouldn't they be able to be employed? I think the bigger issue here is like, people are basically trying to describe this way of like making women, how do you say it? Like, putting women into boxes and like categorizing society into these like acceptable and unacceptable behaviors. And the part that I don't understand is, like, if you're calling something unacceptable, like, so if you're saying, like, I personally don't want porn or whatever in my household, that's great. Or if you're like, oh, I don't agree with OnlyFans, that is also great. The problem is, it's like these guys are like probably the dudes who are like, guys like him on the left are probably the ones who are subscribing to OnlyFans. Like, these are real industries because dudes like him are paying the money to make it so. Him coming on and making this little short about like criticizing OnlyFans girls and then trying to make women believe that like their future is over. This is like the weird part of like the demonization of like sex workers. I don't know, like, I don't think people should do sex work, okay? Like, if I feel that way, like, someone could just make a choice to be like, I'm not going to do sex work anymore. And then like that, now they're not a sex worker. But it's like strange. I think it's really weird how people are so uncomfortable talking about sex. But like so uncomfortable that like because I feel like they don't have a sex life. So then they like sit and laugh at people who have a sex life. I mean, the weird part too is that like I feel like we this society is so strange because like all day long you have these dudes, these rappers, these sports players who are just hoes, like they're super hoes, and everybody knows it. Like, you're like watching it on Instagram, you're watching it in real life, like hoe culture, where like we can call them like normal men and women of society, adults, are just out here like slutting it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a real thing. Like, dudes all day will be on Tinder, all the apps, just hoeing it out, okay? And it's like their friends know, the community members know, everybody knows. And now the OnlyFans girls are the only ones. The OnlyFans girls can't go into society anymore. Even though it's like the men are the ones who... the men have created this entire, like, toxic system of toxic bullshit. Like, what? How is it the women's fault? What?